And now, broadcasting live from the Ginger and Baker studio here in the heart of the Music District in beautiful Old Town Fort Collins, Colorado. It's Live at Lunch here on KRFC 88.9 FM, streaming live worldwide at krfcfm.org. Today's guest is gearing up for a new release and will be appearing at Foco MX at the Museum of Art in Fort Collins on Friday, April 18th at 9 p.m. I'm your host today, David V., and today's musical guest is Maxwell Hughes.
Should I whisper or talk normally? Okay. Thanks for having me. And that first song was called No Name. It's a testament to how good I am at naming songs. And this one is called Ascending Olympus. And it's just kind of like a training montage as if you were to be back in Greece, try to climb that mountain, because that's all you had to do at the time. There's nothing else to do other than climb stuff.
Maxwell Hughes here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. Well, let's get to know Maxwell a little bit. Are you originally from Colorado? I know you've been in Colorado off and on a long time.
Yeah, born and raised in Fort Collins, actually.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah.
Okay. And well, we'll drop the big one. You originally were on that very first Lumineers album back 2010.
Yeah, I was.
You co-wrote some of the songs.
Some of the songs, yep.
And then you toured with them for about 2 years, 2010, 2011 or so, live, all over the world, or just U.S.?
U.S. Yeah. So this was kind of on the pre-days of before the explosion of the Lumineers.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we ended up doing a few residencies in New York, where we met the management team that kind of took them to the next level. So.
And that was my next question. How did you happen to fall in with those guys, meet them?
They had just moved to Denver from New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
And had been kind of like playing some open mic nights, and I was doing open mic nights down in Denver, and just...
They said they could use a little extra guitar?
They didn't even say that. I just said, hey, I could hear mandolin on your music if you ever need somebody. And they were like, well, we've got a tour coming up, actually. So I kind of played mandolin, bass, guitar, keyboard, and then I was faking my way through a cello at the time. So
playing or plucking?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So multi-instrumentalist, and it's obvious.
Try to be.
Yeah. So how did you get into all that? Here in town, high school?
You know, it's really funny. Live at Lunch was one of my first performances ever when I was 16 years old. I think you guys were allowing... I don't know how I got in here. I don't think you should have allowed me in here. But
16. So how many years ago was that? Probably about...
Enough that it's special to be back here.
Yeah, wonderful.
22 years.
Okay.
So,
well, I know. I think you actually even did the theme music for Live at Lunch for a while.
We had a song called Flat Cat that was the theme music for a while.
Yeah.
And at one time, I was the most
played
recurrent artist, because every 6 months that I could submit again, I would do it. I was very eager.
Well, that's when Live at Lunch used to be every single day, Monday through Friday. Yeah. Now it's just Fridays.
Yeah. You have this beautiful studio.
Yeah, I got the quality up.
Yeah.
All right. And then, of course, after a couple years, they were trying to keep their core a little bit smaller, I guess, and you went on and did your own thing, and that's still cool, and you're outperforming a lot. I was going to ask you about your guitar, your fingering style and tunings. Pretty unique. You're playing on top, you're playing underneath.
Yeah, try to play all over it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, what is that?
So this is a Larrivee guitar. This is actually a trophy guitar that I won in the International Fingerstyle Guitar Championship back in 2012.
Wow, where was that at?
In Kansas.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
It's a small little town called Winfield, and they have a bluegrass festival every year, and they also hold the International Fingerstyle Guitar Championship.
So I wouldn't really call your style bluegrass, but that's one of the genres you play in addition to what you're doing?
So they accept every style. So there's like jazz players, classical players.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow,
so anything that just uses your fingers to play is accepted.
So who influenced you to do the different tunings and the fingerstyle that you do now?
Yeah, so Tommy Emmanuel is the reason I started playing guitar.
Interesting, yeah, we play his stuff.
And I think right around the time I started playing here, actually. Yeah.
Did you ever play with Tommy, or?
I did, actually, at the Levitt Pavilion. I think in 2019.
Wonderful.
Yeah, a little while ago, but
yeah. So, other than Tommy, I mean, you just saw how he was playing and the tunings he was using and everything, but you've actually graduated well beyond that, obviously.
Yeah. So the two main influences I had was Tommy Emmanuel and a woman named Khaki King, and she played more over the top and was more percussive on the body.
Okay.
Which is where all of these...
And you had a little bit of that in your last
where all
song
these love marks are from.
Well, 2012, it's finally broken in, it looks like.
Yeah, this is one song. This is another song. This is another song. So
excellent.
So I just tried my best to blend their two styles into a style that I liked.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what were you listening to growing up here in Colorado?
In terms of Colorado bands?
No, just whatever you were listening to.
I think at that time I was really into underground hip hop.
Oh, really?
There's like Anticon was like a label that I was really into. I also played a lot of video games, and I think that comes through in my music.
All right.
Sometimes I can hear these melodies where I'm like, that's an old NES melody line or something like that.
Wow. And then later on, after you got out of school, did you go to college and major at all in music, or is this all just pretty much self-taught, or did you take lessons?
It's self-taught. Yeah, I tried going to. I tried auditioning for Berkeley when I was younger. I didn't know how to read
music at the time?
Music at all, so that was, I think, a hindrance. But yeah, just continued on. Didn't let that stop me.
I was saying, it worked out.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it stunted your career or anything, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So you are looking forward to playing here at Foco MX coming up April 18th. Do you have any other big shows that you're beyond that?
Nothing in the works right now, but I am also playing with my old band Edison.
Oh, yeah.
For Foco MX.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and we've got, I don't know if I can say this, but we're working on some new music.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe got a new album ready to come out soon.
Where are you recording at?
My house.
All right.
Yeah.
So you've got all the equipment, don't you?
Yeah, I've been kind of focusing on engineering and learning production and that kind of stuff.
You're going to master it and everything yourselves? Then?
Might outsource the mastering. That's another,
whole nother
skill set that I don't know if I have the time and patience to delve into. But
all right. Well, sometimes in a fresh face and looking at the music helps
exactly.
too. So. Yeah. Well, those two were wonderful. What are the next songs you want to play for us?
This next one is called Hot Flashes.
Hot Flashes.
And before I had a name for this song, I was playing at Road 34 here in town. And the lights were very hot on the stage. And I told the audience that I thought I was having hot flashes, and everybody laughed. And a woman came up afterwards and informed me that it was pretty unlikely that I was having hot flashes.
Oh.
And but I like that for a name for the song.
Well, good thing we all have digital lights in here. They're not as hot.
Yeah.
And well, that's a funny story. And what's the second one?
Yeah, again with the naming of the songs. The first song is called No Name. This song is called Hot Flashes. When Edison was signed to our record label, this is a song that actually made the cut on the album. And it's an instrumental piece, and the label had me send them 10 different ideas for songs that could go on there, and this was idea 5.
Okay.
And so the song just became
Idea 5.
Idea 5.
All right.
So here we go.
Maxwell Hughes here on KRC's Live at Lunch. Maxwell Hughes here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. You used to have a favorite tuning and you tried to do different tunings every song, but now you have one. What is that tuning that you try to do?
Yeah, do you want me to repeat?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I used to try to do different tunings on every song to kind of keep it fresh, but to learn a new tuning is a lot of work. Knowing where all the fingerings are and the major and minor chords are and that kind of thing. So now I have a favorite tuning that I like that I pretty much use on everything, which is E, G, D, F sharp, B, D. So it started from a D major chord and then slowly tweaking them one by one until
you found the right.
I found that one, yeah.
Right mix of them.
Yeah.
And then you capo on top of that, and
Yep.
so when you create your music, I mean, all the different fingerings and everything, where's that come from?
Boredom.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you spend a lot of the day just sitting and playing guitar?
Not so much these days, but when I was younger and I had a lot more free time to do that, I would pretty much go coffee shop hopping with my guitar.
Oh.
I'd go get a coffee over here, play there for an hour, go
Like an open stage or
just
not even
out
that?
front.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's enough coffee shops in town for that to happen, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's to me, I find that extremely interesting, and I just, you've got such a unique style. It's pretty hard to copy. You're all instrumental. Is there a reason why you're not having anybody sing with you or sing yourself?
That was a nice thing about being in Edison is we, did a lot of 3-part harmonies and stuff. I'm still, coming into my own voice and trying to figure that out. But I do have one song called Charlie Girl. Maybe we'll have time for it today, but that I sing, and it's I think the as a listener of music, I'd never pay attention to the lyrics, so it's hard for me to write lyrics because of that. I more so listen to the composition of the music parts and how that all plays together.
It's got to be difficult to be playing like that and singing too.
It's actually not too bad at this point.
Yeah. Good for you. You've had enough practice to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's the best place for people to get information on Maxwell Hughes?
Instagram, at Maxwell Hughes Music, or YouTube. I'm trying to stay away from Facebook and all the other noise.
Yeah.
And my website's down, so it'll eventually be MaxwellHughesMusic.com.
And if people want to obtain your music, they're interested in it, where should they go?
Yeah, I've got 2 albums on Spotify, as well as Edison's got, I think, 2 or 3.
I know we have, I think, 3 here in our library too.
So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or YouTube's a great place to see some music videos that I did.
Yeah. Do you post those yourselves, or there people have recorded you and done it?
No, I actually did one at Avogadro's Number here in town for a cover of Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh, really?
So
okay.
Maxwell Hughes Smells on YouTube will get you there, get where you need to go, or not go, where you'd like to find yourself.
Okay. That would be an interesting cover. We'll have to hear that someday.
Yeah.
What are you going to play for us next?
So that small little town called Winfield, after the Bluegrass Festival, I came back with this as a prize and ended up being so inspired. I wrote my next album called Only in Dreams.
Only in Dreams?
From that, and this song is called Winfield.
Winfield.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's got a little bluegrassy kind of feel to it.
That's fine. Maxwell Hughes on KRFC's Live at Lunch. That was beautiful, almost like a music box.
Yeah.
What inspired you to have the capo all the way up on the 9th fret?
I was just messing around kind of up at that high on the neck and noticed that the harmonics and the open notes were
beautiful.
Sounded pretty close together. So there's kind of that like arpeggiated kind of sound that plays really nicely together with the harmonics and the
It's actually more versatile than I assumed it would be. You know, I thought, oh gosh, he's only got so much left on the guitar neck to play on, but really had a cool sound. What was the name of that one?
That's called Rain Waltz, and it was kind of inspired by like fairies waking up in the morning and dancing throughout the forest, and then as they land on things, the forest starts coming to life, and kind of just that cycle start to end.
Did that in a movie there, Disney.
I think they did it in Fantasia. I think maybe that's where I got the image from. But,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Again, you'll be playing at Foco MX on Friday, April 18th at the Museum of Art here in Fort Collins. And Edison playing the same day, or?
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Now, we'll have to check. You have to go to Foco MX's website and check that out.
Yeah.
Well, so what brought you back in with Edison?
I think we all were just kind of missing each other a little too much. We pretty much lived in a van together for 5 years, touring the country.
And you needed a break?
Needed a break. And I think we all sort of had enough time to reflect from, the things that went right, things that went wrong, and sort of...
Everybody kind of did their own solo things and stuff for a while, too.
We're all doing our own solo things as well, so there's kind of no pressure on the band anymore, so now it's actually just a lot of fun. The personality things that can sometimes get in the way or
forgotten.
Or are they forgotten, and, there's just the pressure's gone, which has been really great for our creativity, actually, when we get together, so...
And I know you're working hard on a new solo release. And do you have any idea when that might be together?
I don't. I'm trying to figure that out right now. I actually have a full album ready to go, and I'm working on a second one. But I'm trying to figure out
maybe a double album.
What's up?
Maybe a double album.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out the best approach for that.
Huh?
So,
any tentative name for the album?
Nope.
Okay. Can't draw it out.
I know, but that's just me. I can't come up with names.
Really, no name. No name.
No name. Yeah.
Although there's been a few albums recently with that one too. But okay, well, is there anything else that you'd like to bring up that maybe we didn't touch base on today? That you've got some other collaborations or things happening that you'd like to let us know about?
Nothing right now. The Edison thing's
the big thing on the horizon.
And one of the things I'm most excited about is just their family at this point,
right.
So
and it's more than just playing with him at Foco MX. You guys are going to be working on new music?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
So our tentative, Sarah's going to kill me for saying any of this.
Oh, that's okay. We know Sarah.
But we sort of talked about maybe like doing a little tour in the spring of 26.
Oh, great.
So...
Yeah, as soon as you have the music together and everything. All right. Well, we've got about 20 minutes left in the show.
Okay.
Why don't you lead us out? Like 3 songs.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds
What would you like to play for us?
This one's called Steam Machine, and it's part of a steampunk trilogy that I wrote off of the album Only in Dreams. Mm-hmm. And this is the pre-war part of the arc, and then it goes into... where those giant steam-powered ships that are above the beautiful Rocky Mountains here are repurposed for war, and then they start dropping bombs and things like that. And then the third part is called Final Flight, and it's about a Red Baron character.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm only going to play the first nice part.
See, you're coming up with titles here. I don't think you realize it.
It's hit or miss. It really is. It depends on if I've had coffee that day. Or been watching too much anime.
Well, before I forget, I'd like to thank our Live at Lunch crew here who work hard every Friday to bring you the video and the audio sound and always do a fantastic job. And I'd like to remind our KRFC viewers and listeners that you can always go to our KRFC YouTube channel. It's called RadioVision, KRFC. And you can click the subscribe button, and every week you'll get a notification who the artist will be that week. And you can check all the past, present, and future videos to come on that website as well at YouTube. I'll let you go.
All right.
Thanks for coming in today, Maxwell.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And this next one is a brand new one that does not have a name. I think we have developed a theme at this point. So if anybody out there has a name for the song, comment down below. as I've been getting older, I've sort of moved away from like the percussive style of guitar, and I'm more focused on like the melody side of things now. So instead of trying to do a million things at once, I'd rather people walk away with a melody that they can hum.
Yeah. Well,
be like,
that last one was pretty.
Yeah, so that's kind of the where I'm trying to go musically, is more melodic and just trying to make sure people can remember the song after
Grabbing the melody and putting it in their brain. All right. Well, and what's this? This last one has no name, but
this last one is actually I just wasn't quite prepared.
Oh, okay.
So
Sure.
But I think since we have the time, I'd love to do the second part of that steampunk trilogy
Sure.
that I was talking about.
All right.
This song's called Kamikaze.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And thank you for having me in. It's been a pleasure.
Well, it's been wonderful having Maxwell Hughes here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. Thank you for listening to Live at Lunch, and thank you to the Music District here in the heart of Fort Collins, Colorado. Live at Lunch is produced by KRFC 88.9 FM in the Ginger and Baker studio. If you'd like to appear on Live at Lunch, email our music director, David Vacek, at david@krfcfm.org.